briefly, we shall have a panel discussion led by a wonderful moderator, Ella Kaliza, soon to be graduate, and her three main guests, which are middle school students. Thank you.
I am Ella Kaliza, moderator of this panel discussion. And here to my left, I have my first guest, Joanna Keza. Let's make some noise for Joanna. On her left, we have my second guest, Daniela Manantaishe. Let's make some noise for her too. Last but not least, we also have my last guest, Shema Chris. Let's make some noise for him. So Joanna, Manansa, and Chris, I have invited you here on the behalf of all the graduates. I believe we have 2-year 8, so that's 1 year and 1 year in middle school, and 1-year 9, so that's 2 years in middle school. So we wanted to learn more about discovering middle school before we enter. So I'm starting with the big question. What feels different now that you're in secondary?
I'd like to thank you for inviting us. We're very honored. And for the question you just asked me, I'd say what feels different in secondary is the content is more complex, but in my opinion, most students don't really see this difficulty because the teachers really help and we help overcome this challenge. And something you need to be in secondary is mature. You need to be mature with yourself, with your friends, and with your surroundings. You need to learn to have self-control, to be kind, and basically have a positive character to make your environment safe.
Thank you very much for that view of perspective. Manansa, have anything to add on?
Yes, I do. That's a very good question you asked because most students are scared about middle school. So my first one is independence because Discovery has now introduced self-learning middle school. So basically, by self-learning doesn't mean the teachers don't help us. It means the students mostly rely on themselves because, we're not going to go in the exam with teachers. We have to think and use our brains. And then my second one is probably new teachers. When we have new teachers, they also bring new teaching methods, which is one of the coolest things because it can be really fun or really strict, but most of the time it's fun and enjoyable. And my last one is, like Joanna said, new skills and like new subjects. Basically, by new subjects, it's like the same, but they're like more complex. For example, science is now divided into 3. We now have physics, biology, chemistry. And then we also introduced a new subject called Studio. Studio is basically history, but geometry, business, and so more.
Thank you very much. Do we have any perspective from our oldest grade?
Yeah, so when you enter secondary, you need to be more responsible because as you grow older, you need to learn how to manage your own learning time. Then, as my colleagues say, the subjects also get deeper, more complex, so you need to go at them with critical thinking instead of just memorizing the answers. But also socially, it's a turning point because friendships deepen, but so do challenges like peer pressure or negativity. To answer your question, it feels different because you're looking for a future just beyond school.
Thank you very much. So you guys mentioned responsibility a lot. So what is one way Discovery is asking you to become more responsible?
One way Discovery is asking us to be more responsible is like when our class are dirty, we clean them up. Students also they introduce a board or like a sub or something like that, where it's like students are grouped for every day where they help each other to clean up the class. And also we also have responsibilities where students there's a big mess in this section and there's a big mess in this section. Students are divided to help each other and clean the rooms so that the cleaners won't really have to clean a lot because it's our responsibilities. If we make the messes, you also have to clean them up, which I think is very fair and organized.
Thank you very much.
So as you enter middle schools, the responsibilities shift from being guided to guiding yourself. You have to learn how to balance academics with co-curriculars and extracurriculars. Then you also have to treat your friends with kindness since they rely on you more. And you also like learn new skills. Like my colleague said, you have to clean after yourself because everything you do is going to reflect back on you.
Very nice view of perspective, Joanna.
My idea of responsibility is, as my friend Manata said, is cleaning after yourself. Like, if for example you make a mess, you don't wait for anyone else to clean it for you. You clean it yourself. And something else Discovery promotes is self-learning. So basically, you just do independent learning, and this means that learning is our responsibility as a student and our teachers, and it creates independence for the future.
So coming back to your point, you were saying that some people like might be on a higher level. For example, like subunit, like somebody might be on 10.1, but somebody is already like on 10.3, and there's one on 10.5. So you mean like the teachers separate you into like small groups and then like work with the others that are behind and also work with the others that are in front?
Most of the time, like for example, if you're in the same subunit as another student, and it's like a pair work, so you get to, like, you change seats to be with that student so you can work together. But sometimes you just work independently, and for example, you're on 10.1 and you sit next to someone that's on 10.2, you just work individually. It's basically a silent work, so you don't need to be with someone on the same level as you.
Thank you very much. You guys mentioned how like science is split into three. You have like many new lessons, many new projects. So according to you, what is one subject or project that stretched your thinking, that made you really think deeply?
Okay, so as my colleague said, we have this new subject called Discovery Studio, and during the subject we talked about sustainable development goals, and the one that really stretched my thinking was the first one, no poverty. It stretched my thinking because I had to go beyond statistics and I had to go through human stories, and it also stretched my thinking because I just found out that it's not only a global problem but also a local one, and we had to think of ways to solve it.
Manansa, is there one project you think really stretched your thinking?
Honestly, for me, it was biology because we had a lot of experiments. So basically, when you have an experiment, after that, you have to like summarize and what you remembered. So if you're not focusing, you are honestly, cooked. Yeah.
Really? So, Joanna, we were talking yesterday and then you mentioned some really interesting facts. So, I wanted to ask you this question. What do you think is hard about being a student your age today? Phones, friendships, pressure, distractions, or artificial intelligence?
What I'm gonna talk about is like friendship. Like for example, maybe you start at a new school or you meet new people, and like you don't have any friends, right? And then you want to become friends with people, but those people turn out to be fake friends. I think that's something a lot of people my age struggle with, like because you're starting, like you're in preteen, and maybe insecurities come, like, oh, why is that girl not my friend, why is that guy not my friend? And I think that the solution to this problem is knowing, like having true friends, and like seeing that they truly care about you and value you. And another thing is peer pressure. Like you keep on telling yourself, "Oh, I should have done better in this specific subject," or I should be better at this specific sport," and you keep on pressuring yourself, which is what most students my age do. And my friend is gonna talk more about it.
So, being a teenager in like these days is a bit harder because we have more developed tech, like ChatGPT, which means students don't really use our brains. That's why Discovery has where we use books and we can also research so that we do not always rely on tech. Because, I mean, if we're always relying on tech, we are not going to have tech in the exams, we're not going to have tech when it's important. So Discovery is honestly helping us balance the two. Like she said, peer pressure is more in this world because let's say your friend got a higher grade than you might be like, oh, I'm dumb, I'm like this, but that's not how it's supposed to be because now Discovery is self-learning, which I think is a very good thing because you actually get to use your brain and it helps you very well.
So you're saying that one of the reasons why you like Discovery is because they balance the human element while also using tech, so the students can still rely on their brains, right?
Yes.
Very nice. You guys mentioned how your teachers like really help you in those lessons. I really like the guided lessons especially. So another question would be, how do adults at Discovery help you when you're struggling academically or even personally?
So the adults at Discovery, they break down the question into steps so that we not only know the answers, but we also know the steps we use to find the answers. Because good teachers, they don't hand out answers. Instead, they help you deal with them. So to answer your question, the teachers, they don't remove the difficulty. Instead, they give you the tools and confidence you need to face them.
So you're saying like when a question is like really hard or challenging you, the teachers will break it down into small steps for you to understand how to get the method so that if there's another question, you know how to tackle it, right?
Yeah.
Any other perspective of you?
Yeah, but can you please repeat the question?
Of course. How do adults at Discovery help when you're struggling academically or even personally?
Well, academically, like he said, if you have a really hard question, they can help you. But it's, like I said, also it's also mainly self-learning. But if you are really stuck, they're always there to guide you through it for the way you understand. Because if you're like just telling them the answer, it's not gonna help you. So they explain it to you in the way you can understand. Another way personally is like my mom said, the girl and boy group, which really helps us know our bodies better and know each other better.
So, you in the boy-girl meetings, like they separate the boys and the girls, and they teach you about development and how to grow and respect yourself correctly, right?
Yes.
Any other perspective of you?
Some way our teachers help us is like in our class we sit in groups like 4 tables, and like this means like we're separated into 5 to 6 students and 1 teacher, and this helps like the students feel more comfortable asking questions since we're in a smaller group, and also it helps them overcome their fear, or because it also helps the teachers. Like for example, if they're teaching a whole class of 20 students and the time is limited, they would have to teach and answer more than 20 questions, and that might be very difficult. So I think like these small groups really help.
So, Manansa, we were talking last week, and then you mentioned how you used to go to a big school. Am I right?
Yes.
So, basing on your personal experience, what does being in a small school make possible for you?
Like you said, I was talking about how going to a bigger school. Going to a bigger school is a bit more corrupted because there are many students, there are more teachers. But that actually makes a little harder for some students because let's say you're in class. If your teacher is like standing in front of 20 to 30 students, it's a bit hard for you to understand because sometimes they don't want to repeat because people will keep on asking, can you repeat this? Can you repeat that? So it's a bit harder for students to understand. Also, personal contact is way harder because if you're going one by one to each student, that would take almost a whole day. So it's way harder. But Discovery can help you understand because you can talk with the teacher personally, which I think is really good for students because if you don't understand a concept, they can come to you and explain it in a way you can understand, which most big schools cannot really do because of the variety of students. Another one is, let's say if you're in like trouble or you have hurt your leg or you're like not feeling good, it's a bit harder because most of the teachers may have other things to do, like they may be preparing for other classes, they may doing other things. So, but Discovery can help you. Let's say if you have a problem, you can contact the teacher personally. They can help you in your personal life, a lot of things like that, which I honestly really like.
Okay. So Chris, I remember you were talking about studio and the SDGs, right? So what future problem in Rwanda, Africa, or the world would you like to help solve?
So I did talk about the Sustainable Development Goals. There are 17 in total, and if you dig deeper, you'll find out that they're all tied to one root problem, which is the first one, no poverty. So if I were to choose a problem in Rwanda, Africa, or the world to solve, it would have to align with that one because the one I did more research on, and it's the one that more people are facing. And if you tackle it, you'll also be getting rid of many other problems.
Thank you very much. So the last question that goes to all of you, what kind of adult do you think Discovery is making you become?
Discovery so far is helping me develop my kindness and like help me become patient and have a good character. And they also help me take care of others, my friends, my colleagues, and basically everyone around me. And I think that's the type of person I'll become in the future. And Discovery has also helped me to overcome my fears and learn that challenges will always be there, but they're not there to kill us, but to help us become stronger.
Love that perspective of you, Manansa.
For me, like she said, it helps you to be kinder and it helps you to control yourself. But one of the things I really like is probably the studio because it helps you design your like businesses. It helps you with your future businesses. It helps you to see how your business can go from down here to all the way to the top, which I really like. For example, recently, when we were in studio, we had a project of where you pick your sustainable development goals. Mine was 7 and 13. And when you choose them, you have to make a business that can solve them, which I think it was a really good idea. So it helps us a lot in life to see how you can solve your business and everything else.
Do we have another perspective of you?
Yeah, so Discovery is not only shaping me into an adult who's academically capable, but also one who's socially responsible. Through projects on the SDGs, I found out that the community is facing a lot of problems, and they want me to become an empathetic and proactive adult who can face through challenges with ease and critical thinking. Then it's okay to fall down and make mistakes, because what I've learned throughout these years is that mistakes don't define you, instead they refine you.
Love that quote. I agree with the parents here. So one question before we leave, one question off the grid. If you were to meet a middle schooler who is just starting middle school, 2 to 3 years from now, you guys would be all in high school, am I right? Yeah. So what would be 3 tips you would give them to start middle school in a good year and end it with a good year too?
My first one would be prioritize learning, like your studies, be social, and like try your best to have like a lot of friends, good friends, and also be positive, like stay positive, be happy, be confident, and that's basically what I'd tell that students.
For me, it's never give up. Just do it and focus, because if you give up already, you never know what you could have done. And if you do not go for it, like just do it. Like sometimes you have like in exams, sometimes you can have the correct answer, but you doubt yourself, so you like cross it and take the wrong one. So just do it. Never doubt yourself and focus, because if you're always distracted in class, you may never know what was being talked about or what like you were supposed to hear.
Love the just do it, like Nike, huh? From our oldest grade,
So if I were to meet that student, I would tell them to be proactive, to be consistent, they shouldn't give up, they should always keep trying, and to also be composed, they take their journey step by step.
thank you very much for hosting this panel with me. I've learned a lot from you guys, and I really look forward to middle school. Thank you.